Hey, what's up guys? Trader Mayne back here with another altcoin video for you guys. I got my holiday Christmas spirit outfit going on. I got the red hat. I know when those sleigh bells ring. Shout out to Drake, Canadian icon. I got the red and green lights in the background. Here to bring you some gifts over the holiday season. Old Saint of Mayne, Saint Mayne, I don't know. Here to drop the gift of alpha on you yet again. Got two altcoins that we're gonna talk about in today's video. We're gonna be talking about a couple coins like last week with Luna that were outperforming the market. And if you go check that last video and look at Luna now, it's starting to get closer to our buy zone.
I think this would be the first area of interest for me for a retest. You have this 3-day bullish order block that is formed here. This goes all the way from 75 down to 60.
So we'll talk about DUSK and NEAR are the two coins we're going to be looking at. Again, these are two coins that have been kind of outliers while the rest of the market, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are down 10-15% in the last couple days. These coins are in price discovery and continuing to trend up. So we will check those out, give you some potential trade ideas, levels that I'm watching to potentially get involved on these coins as they remain bullish even as the rest of the market goes down. And I'll also talk about how you can try and spot some of these coins a little bit early so you can kind of get on board with those coins that are, like I said, outperforming the rest of the market and are outliers while the market is going down. It doesn't mean everything is going down. It just takes a little bit more work, a little bit more looking to find those coins. Real quick, wanted to give a shout out to the partners for today's video. So as you guys know, I'm working with Prime XBT. It is a trading exchange that I actively use. What I love about it is the interface is great. They have a very kind of robust offering in terms of assets that you can trade. It's not just crypto. You can trade Forex on there. You can trade commodities, among other things. I really like using Prime. Liquidity is great. Interface is great. Obviously lets you trade things like gold, silver, the euro with crypto as collateral, which is awesome. So if you use the code MAYNE50, MAYNE50, and the link below that I'll leave in the description, you get 25% off your trading fees, which is pretty cool. So shout out to the Prime team. Very happy to be working with y'all. This altcoin video also is in partnership with the Change Finance app. You can download it on the Android or iOS app store. What I really like about the Change Finance app is it's kind of like a centralized home for DeFi. I know the word centralized and DeFi don't really go together. What I mean is it really simplifies your ability to interact with a lot of the things that DeFi has to offer. So they support 13 different chains, about 75 assets right now, and they use something called Fusion DCRM technology. It's the same technology that's used by other bridges. Specifically, the main thing that I think is really cool about the app is their chain hop function. It effectively allows you to bridge between different chains and bridge your assets over to another chain to maybe take advantage of a liquidity pool or a staking opportunity without having to jump through all the hoops that you would normally have to. It's very seamless. It's super user friendly, super easy to use. I've been trying it out myself as someone who's a bit of a crypto, boomer. I was late to DeFi, and an app like this is exactly what I needed because it just makes things simple. I'll also leave a bunch of information in the description of this video. I'd suggest you check it out. It's a great way to kind of get your money working for you. I mean, one thing that I regret not doing earlier in the cycle was taking advantage of putting money into liquidity pools, staking opportunities to earn APY. Get your money working for you. If you have assets that are just sitting there, these can be productive assets if you want them to be using DeFi, and the Change Finance app makes it very easy to take advantage of some of these things. Highly suggest you check them out. I'll leave all the information, like I said, in the description of this video. Really want to give a shout out to the Change Finance team, not just for making a great application, but for supporting me in the channel. So thank you guys so much. With that being said, let's get over to the other screen and let's get looking at these charts. All right, guys, back over at the other camera now. So if you're like me, you're longing Ethereum and Bitcoin and you keep hearing people talking about DUSK and NEAR and you're like, well, what the hell are these? And then you pull up the chart and you understand why. So much like Luna, where we discussed last week how it was outperforming a lot of the rest of the market in this most recent downturn, these two coins have been absolutely crushing. I have no idea what they do. I do not care, but we're going to talk about some potential trade setups that I see and how you can potentially get involved in some of these types of coins earlier before they start smoking the rest of the market. So to do that, first thing you want to do here is look at the Bitcoin pair, right? So we'll start with DUSK. Looking at the Bitcoin pair here, you can see it was in, kind of a consolidation period here, right? You got essentially a range. Not really lower highs, although it's not really trending. However, once we had this, and ultimately this, but once we had this is a major break in market structure. on the weekly time frame. So we had price going sideways, put in a major swing high. Once you get that weekly close through that high and absolutely through this high, it's time to pay attention. So we'll mark out those two highs, because at that point, this is giving you a clue that this is going to now be outperforming Bitcoin. By how much, we don't know, but when this chart is in an uptrend, that means it's outperforming Bitcoin. So when the market structure, which it's done here, shifts bullish and then even more bullish here, you want to pay attention, because it doesn't matter what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin could be going up, it could be going down, it could be going sideways. This is outperforming it. So if you're going to long something and you only have two options, you're going to want to long this over Bitcoin. So we'll mark those two key market structure levels out there. And again, if you want to understand the ratios better, go watch those old videos that I did in this series covering the ratios more in depth. Now we're going to zoom in and you can see right away, once we had that break in market structure on the weekly, this thing started turning up quite quickly. There's your break on the 11th of December. So your first opportunity to get involved in this thing is it actually breaks on the 11th and then it goes straight up and breaks the second level too. So once you've had both of those levels get broken on the weekly and the daily and obviously the lower time frames, you need to be starting to look at buying the dip. What do we talk about getting involved with coins that are starting to go aggressively up? Because obviously it would have been nice to buy down here, but we don't know for sure that this thing is going to start trending up down here. Not yet, at least. I mean, you could argue that, okay, well, when it broke this high, now I want to get involved. Yeah, sure. But at this point, and for sure at this point, you have absolutely confirmation on the high time frame that this thing is going to be going much higher because it's making weekly market structure breaks. If you want to get in sooner, you need to zoom in. So instead of doing the weekly, you could have said, okay, well, here's the daily high. Once it broke that daily high, boom, it came back, retested the breaker, another leg up. We're focusing on the weekly levels for now, but if you want to get in things earlier, you got to zoom into the low time frame. The trend is going to shift on the low time frame first and then to the high time frame, right? So before you get a weekly break in market structure, you get a daily break in market structure. Before that, you get a 4-hour break in market structure. Once we've had these weekly market structure breaks, you can see this thing starts trending quite aggressively. On the daily, are there any trade opportunities? I mean, sure, you have this big pullback here. Does it come and hit the order block perfectly? No. But it does come and give you basically a 62% tap, right, on the fib, or even a 50% tap before continuing higher. The next opportunity to buy is, boom, we broke market structure again. This previous high now becomes a low. Another pullback here. This one tags the daily order block. Another pullback here, right? Previous high becomes the low, but this is getting quite aggressive, right? So you might be like, okay, this is too steep for me to trade on the daily. So what do? You go to the 4-hour. 4-hour, much more clear. Very clear opportunities to buy and sell here. Where are we confirmed bullish? Here. So after we close through this level, right? On the weekly, we've made a higher high. You now need to be looking for reasons to get long on the H4. I don't care that it goes down here. I'm looking for reasons to long the dip because the weekly market structure is bullish and I'm zooming in to try and dial in an entry because on the daily and the weekly, it looks parabolic. Down candle before an up move, bullish order block, tags it, goes higher. You could even extend this out. It gives you an entry right there. So there's one entry right there. Here's another one. This one, it wicks a little bit below your 4-hour order block. It moves away. If you put your stop right at the low, you got stopped out. But when it has this reaction, why not buy the SR flip here? Why not buy that SR flip right there? Or re-enter once it regains that level. Let's say you put your stop right below the OB, you get stopped out, but then it comes back and it reclaims the OB right away, right? Dips below, right back in, starts getting bullish again, buy back. Or you have your stop at the swing low. Right? It's not going to be perfect every time. Could have your stop there, but if your stop was there, arguably you got stopped out on that. This is a breaker. I don't know if it tags it, does it? Looks like it does. Up candle for down move that took out a low. Broke through, retest. There's your buy, stop here. That's a perfect breaker. So all I'm showing you is we're bullish because of the weekly. Now I'm on the low time frame and I'm just giving you examples of potential entry triggers. You have the bullish order block, the breaker there that works out quite nicely. This is like a basic SR flip entry right here. You have these highs, resistance, breaks through, now it's support. Basic SR, right? The weekly level itself acts as SR. We have confirmation of bullishness. We move up. Come down below the level, reclaim. You can enter there with your stop there. That's a reclaim. Everyone asks me, what's it mean to see a level get reclaimed? This is exactly it. You have a weekly level that was resistance. On the weekly, we end up closing through this level. But what does that look like on the low time frame? It looks like this, right? We're trading below it, reclaimed it. There's your risk. This is now just a deviation below that level. What are some other potential setups here? Starting to get steeper, so there's going to be less opportunities on the H4. Another SR flip here, right? That high becomes the low. Another bullish order block right here. Down candle before an up move. Price comes back, tags the bullish order block, rallies away. I imagine this is a good fib entry right here from the low to the high, right into the sweet spot there. I mean, you could argue this is the low. Comes a little bit below the 7.9. Same thing right here from the low. It's probably a 50% test if I had to guess. Comes right into the 6.2, confluent with the 50% there. It may seem like, okay, Mayne, you're just cherry picking pullbacks. It's like, no, I'm not. I've established my bias based on this market structure break, and then even more so on this market structure break, that I'm looking for reasons to get long. That's the key. I know my bias is to the upside. So I'm just zooming in to find opportunities to get involved because I know that the trend is up on the high time frame. So I know that low time frame bullish setups are more likely to play out. So hopefully that makes sense. I just gave you a handful of entries there. Hindsight examples of how to get involved. Now, where are we right now, right? This looks parabolic on the daily. There's literally no support until way down here. So you find your preferred time frame and you start marking out some support. This would absolutely be a buy. This thing's bullish as hell. If we come back into this 12-hour order block, that's a buy. Maybe we don't come back that deep, right? Maybe we don't, but this is the most obvious consolidation before the next leg up. So if we come back here, it's a buy. And if you look at this here, if we make a new high, this becomes an order block. You could buy there. So we're buying the dips on this thing. It's still bullish. The USD pair and the BTC pair are effectively the exact same chart. Pretty much the exact same chart. You can't really tell the difference there. So anything I said for the BTC chart, apply that to the USD chart. There's that 12-hour order block. Boom. And so what I did here, what I showed you is versus BTC. This applies to USD, right? So if you were to say, okay, on the 11th is when we made that weekly break in market structure on the BTC chart. Okay, go over to the USD chart because maybe you want to trade versus USD. Mark off the 11th. From this red line on, we're only looking for long setups. And it's the exact same long setups that we were talking about before. Down candle for the up move. Bullish order block. Breaker, right? Up candle before the down move that took out the low. There's your breaker entry, SR flip entry. It's all the exact same because the chart is effectively the exact same. So same goes for near. On near, we could start at the high time frame on the weekly, on the BTC chart. We could say, okay, this thing's in an uptrend already as of here. That's a key market structure break on the weekly time frame. And just the weekly chart alone gave you that perfect retest twice, right? Boom. Boom, boom. As of September 6th, we're bullish on this chart versus Bitcoin. Mark out September 6th here, zoom in. You're looking to buy the dip on this thing going forward. You're not looking at short setups, you're looking at long setups. And whatever time frame you want to do that on is up to you, but there's going to be a variety of them, right? There's your daily bullish order block that caused the break in market structure. Bunch of retests, rallies away. You could draw this thing out. I think this ended up being the floor. So bullish order block entry. Here's a breaker entry right here. Up candle for a down move that took out a low. There's your retest and there's your rally away. Here is an SR flip entry, right? Those highs become the bottom. Boom. Again, my bias is based on the high time frame. As of this date, the high time frame chart versus Bitcoin and versus USD has made a higher high on the weekly. So on the low time frame, I want to be focused on bullish triggers on the low time frame to get involved with that high time frame trend, because if the high time frame trend is this, the low time frame is going to look like this. A lot easier to get in on a discount versus something that is just looks like it's parabolic on the weekly, because there's going to be periods of down and then larger periods of up, periods of down, then a bigger move up. That makes that one weekly, kind of up move into a bunch of up and down 4-hour candles. So trend shifts on the low time frame first, then it shifts on the high time frame. Once we have confirmation that the high time frame is bullish, you go to the low time frame, you look for price to be trending down, and you want to pinpoint price action where it shifts back to bullish, getting it back in line with the high time frame trend, and that's where you want to get involved. So hopefully that makes sense. Both of these still look good for higher prices, right? I don't see why this would stop going up at this point. 11 to 12 bucks here. I think if it comes back here, that's a buy based on the weekly, same as the daily here. And then the daily, this looks super clean to me, right? If this makes a higher high now from here, this makes a higher high above here, this becomes a daily order block. and you'd want to buy that dip. So we'll wait and see, but both look good, and hopefully my explanation of identifying the trend on the high time frame and then zooming into the low time frame to get involved makes sense. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions on coins you want to see me cover, let me know. But that's all I got. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, you might notice I'm in a different outfit here. I forgot to record the outro to the video when I recorded the first part, so a little bit of a continuity error, but we'll just have my editor Photoshop, you know, a big face of Drake on my chest here, and it'll basically be the same thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was informative. As usual, if you have any questions, any suggestions for future videos, anything like that, please leave some comments in the description. Do all those fun things for the YouTube algorithm, leaving comments, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on the notification bell. Really helps me out. Really loving seeing the growth that we're having in this channel, and I'm really looking forward to an exciting 2022 as we continue on our mission on here, trying to provide you with some actual value instead of trying to sell you some bullshit.
You are an absolute idiot. Come on, rely on the green dots, you idiot!
So hope you enjoyed the video. Love you guys so much. Thanks again to our partners, Change Finance and Prime, and I will talk to you guys soon. If I don't see you, have a happy new year. Hope it's been a great holiday season, and yeah, talk to y'all soon. Thanks, guys.